Hello and welcome to Community Update. I am your host, Promise Okoy. Our guest today is a business coach, a diversity and inclusion ambassador. In 2021, he was awarded the most inspiring immigrant in the Maritimes. Kenneth Oguzie is the CEO of Africa Canada Trade and Investment Venture, and he joins us now from Halifax. Hi, Ken. It's good to see you.
A very good evening to you, Promise. Good to see you again, and a good evening to all the viewers as well.
Same here. So you have become a voice and perhaps a face for African immigrants here in Nova Scotia. You were one of the 4 people selected to address a global audience of about 4 or 6,000 thereabout to discuss some issues that concern African immigrants here in Canada. So why are you being sought after? What is your message?
First of all, I would like to say a happy African Heritage Month to everyone joining us. I think it's a very important month for all the Black people globally, and really, it's aimed at celebrating the achievements of those who have come before us. And understanding the fact that sacrifices were made, and we always have to stay positive and keep acknowledging most of those sacrifices we people have made. So my message is clear, and I think for me it's the same thing which I spoke about when I was on a guest on one on an event where I really talked about bringing the African diaspora perspective, and of course understanding the fact that our lived experience as people from the African diaspora is different from African Nova Scotians who have been here for 400 years plus, and we are new immigrants, we are newcomers. The challenges are different, but at the end of the day, ultimately, it's just to ensure that there are like avenues where we can work together progressively, and of course leverage on our diversity and our lived experiences.
Certainly different from those who've been here forever. So you are an ambassador of diversity and inclusion. What is the government currently doing in this area, and how does it affect immigrants of African descent?
Well, I think the government of Nova Scotia, for starters, they do recognize the importance of immigrants. Looking at things like the Ivany report, which was released a couple of years ago, which really highlighted the importance of immigrants in terms of the declining age population in Nova Scotia, and the fact that some of the labor skill shortages we have, who else is better equipped to fill up those gaps than new immigrants? So the government typically understands that fact, and we have seen most of the strategies and policies put into place to sort of promote immigration into Nova Scotia. And the good news is we started seeing a lot of traction and changes. If you look at the data, like the last 3 years or so, we've had one of our highest retention rates. Compared to before, where typically people move to Nova Scotia a couple of years later, they move out. We're doing a better job, in terms of keeping people here. And I think that could be tied into 2 things. Diversity is the first piece, whereby we bring in new immigrants, they contribute to the economy and what have you. But then inclusion is also important, because inclusion involves, people feeling welcome and of course feeling like they can contribute to the community. So looking at a lot of initiatives which the government has put into place, such as more community engagement, recognition of most of the immigrant communities, and finding ways to collaborate and partner to ensure that members of these communities can harness their full potentials, we have seen progress. And I think if we continue along that line, then we can probably, continue to see the growth of immigrants, continue to see the progress, and then successfully attract more immigrants to help strengthen the economy of Nova Scotia as a whole.
Certainly, I do agree with you on that. So, talking about business, the immigration minister recently said that 1 in every 3 businesses in Canada is owned by an immigrant. In your opinion, would you say the African community is having a fair share of this statistic?
Absolutely, absolutely. Of course, we can always do better. But I think based on my experience, and I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago, attached to the mayor's office in Brampton, and they highlighted the fact that they have an initiative where it's more like a beehive sort of project, and really it's aimed at bringing people, accelerators, and startups within the IT space. I was proud when she announced to me that at the moment, hopefully they're probably going to have about 3 to 4 businesses coming from Nigeria, to move into those incubation hubs and expose them to the Canadian market. So if you look around Canada, you have a lot of those things popping up, not just within the IT space, but we're looking into things like, sciences, people setting up like a hospitality business, manufacturing, and all of those pieces. So for sure, we are playing in those spaces. Yes, we can do better because one of the things I promote within the African immigrant community is the fact that listen, in as much as we all want to have stability and come in and plug and play in terms of our careers,
Mhm.
but we have to understand the need that to really grow generational wealth and to really empower our people, we need to start looking into setting up our businesses as well. Now, setting up a business is not for everyone, but I think we've come to a society whereby there are platforms that can support this. Things like Halifax Partnership, NSBI, ISAN's business scheme, all of these pieces are there to really help, people start thinking about, going into their setting up their own businesses and of course employing other people, which is one of the way you can complete the whole cycle of community engagement and integration. So my message still remains the same, let us start thinking into that line. We can do better. There's a lot of us that have potentials. We are entrepreneurs by heart. And I think if we just leverage all of these resources available, we can do more.
Nice. And in closing, I just want to ask a general question. What does the future for an African immigrant here in Nova Scotia in terms of opportunity hold here in this space that we have?
Well, I think the future is great. The future is great. The good thing is we're having a lot of, members of the African diaspora who can be considered as role model and community leaders. So most times when you move into a new space, and I understand this because I've lived in, 6 different countries, and I can understand the fact that when you move into a new space, if you move into a new space, you want to be able to meet people who speak, talk, and look like you. And basically, we are at that point where, for example, within the Nova Scotian community, we have a lot of leaders now, both in careers and business doing their own thing. So when a new immigrant moves in here, there's that space to connect with them, learn from their mistakes. These are people who can help you. You don't need to start from the bottom anymore because some of the challenges you will be facing, they've gone through it. So they can share with you some of their perspectives to help you. And of course, the second piece is the fact that we're having a very there's more of a communal mindset now. So people are working within the community. People can leverage the power of numbers, the power of bringing multiple perspectives to create that bigger thing. And of course, the community is also getting recognition. When I moved there a couple of years ago, typically you walk into places, you have to still explain to people where Nigeria is. Not what I see these days. A lot of people now, oh yeah, I know this person from Nigeria. I know this person from Nigeria. I've had interaction, and I can tell you most of it has been positive. And the same for the other African countries as well. So I think it's exciting. I think it's exciting. I think it's a good time to be here. It's a good time to be alive. And, I'm always a very positive minded person. I always see something good in everything and the best. So I think if we continue the way we are going, we will be one of the next forces to reckon with and will definitely leave a mark, not just in this province, but in Canada as a whole.
Absolutely. There couldn't have been a better place to live it. Thank you so much, Ken, for stopping by today.
Thank you, Promise. It was really great talking to you, and I'm looking forward to other conversations in future.
Same here. And that was Ken Oguzie, the CEO of Africa Canada Trade and Investment Venture, and he has joined us from Halifax.